You know that feeling, right? That split second when you open your banking app, and instead of that usual wave of anxiety, that gut punch that makes you want to just close it immediately, you actually smile. You suddenly stop doing all that mental math about whether you can afford a coffee or if buying real groceries this week means you're eating ramen for the rest of the month. Well, there's a specific number, and it's surprisingly small, that can completely flip your relationship with money. And let me tell you, it is not $1 million. Okay, let's get into this. So I'll ask you straight up, right now, when you check your account, what's your gut reaction? Is it one of those quick, painful glances before you look away? Or is there, a sense of calm? See, most of the financial gurus, they're always talking about six figures or how you need $1 million to feel wealthy. And yeah, those are great goals for way down the line, but they feel so far away for most of us that it's almost paralyzing, right? The gurus are totally missing the most important first step. There's a much smaller milestone that changes absolutely everything. And that number is $20,000. Yeah, that's it. This is the number that acts as the real catalyst. The moment you hit it, the entire game changes, not just on your bank statement, but psychologically. This is the actual turning point that separates people who build real wealth from those who just spend their whole lives feeling stuck. Now, when you think about building wealth, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Maybe you picture some trust fund kid who's never had a single money worry. Or maybe you imagine someone just grinding it out for decades, slowly, painstakingly stacking $1 at a time. But the truth is, wealth building doesn't really work that way. There are these sort of invisible barriers, these financial thresholds you have to cross. And what's wild is that most people have no clue that this first major threshold, this $20,000 line in the sand, even exists. It's like a hidden rule of the game. And it's what separates those who are actually going to build significant wealth from those who will spend their entire lives living paycheck to paycheck, never really understanding why they just can't seem to get ahead. So, to make this idea crystal clear, I want you to imagine you're pushing a massive boulder up a really steep hill. When you're just starting out at the bottom, that's the absolute hardest part, isn't it? You're straining, you're sweating, you're barely making any progress, and you're probably thinking, is this thing even gonna move? Well, that's exactly what saving your first few $1,000s feels like. And this quote just nails it perfectly. That $20,000, that's the point where your financial boulder finally reaches the top of the hill. All that effort, all that discipline and sacrifice, that was you pushing against gravity with everything you had. But once you hit the top, that boulder starts rolling down the other side all on its own, picking up speed almost effortlessly. Suddenly, gravity is working for you, not against you. But okay, here's where this gets really, really fascinating. The difference isn't just about the math. It's not just about having more money to invest. No, the real magic, the most profound change of all, happens inside your own brain. See, when you have little or no savings, your brain is constantly operating in what you could call survival mode. Every single financial decision you make is filtered through this lens of fear and scarcity. You take the first job offer you get, even if it's a terrible fit, because you literally can't afford to be picky. You stay in a job you hate because the thought of leaving is just way too risky. All of your mental energy is being used up by these immediate threats. It's like trying to plan your dream vacation while your house is on fire. It's impossible. But something truly remarkable happens when you cross that $20,000 threshold. Your brain finally gets the space it needs to think differently. You stop asking, how do I survive until my next paycheck? And you start asking, how can I grow this money? You shift from being purely reactive to every little financial emergency to being proactive about building the future you actually want. And look, this isn't just some fluffy feeling. We've got hard data to back this up. Research from Vanguard shows that having just $2,000 in emergency savings boosts your financial well-being by a massive 21%, just $2,000. And when you get that up to 3 to 6 months of living expenses, which for most people is going to land somewhere in that $15,000 to $25,000 range, right around our key number, you get another 13% boost. So the point is this. That buffer literally moves you out of pure survival mode and gives you the breathing room to start thinking about building wealth, not just trying to hang on. Okay, so your mindset has totally shifted. Now let's get to the math, because this is where the acceleration becomes almost unbelievable. We're talking about the power of compound interest, that financial boulder of yours really starting to roll downhill and pick up speed. All right, let's say you're saving $1,000 a month and you're getting a pretty standard 8% return on your investments. Getting to your first $20,000 is going to take you about 19 months of pure discipline. It's a grind. But here's the part that should absolutely blow your mind. Getting your second $20,000 doesn't take another 19 months. It only takes 17. Why? Because that first $20K is now working right alongside you. You're doing the exact same thing, but you just shaved 2 months off the clock. Okay, now let's fast forward. When you have $400,000 invested at that same 8% return, your money is generating over $30,000 a year all by itself. That means you can get a new $20,000 in about 7 months without saving a single extra penny. Your money is now doing all the heavy lifting for you. See, the first milestone feels impossible. Every single one after that gets easier and easier. Now, you might be thinking, oh, wealthy people must have access to some secret investments. But that's not what's happening here. The real secret is so much simpler. It's just basic math. A 10% return on $2,000 is $200. I mean, it's nice, but it's not life-changing. But a 10% return on $20,000, that's $2,000. Now we're talking about real money that just flows in your account without you lifting a finger. The only difference is scale. And scale is what turns these small percentage wins into real, tangible financial progress. So how do you actually get there? It's not magic. First, you have to track where every single dollar is going. Use an app like YNAB or Mint. You can't plug the leaks in a bucket if you don't even know where the holes are, right? This step alone often frees up hundreds of dollars a month. Second, you have to widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Maybe that means starting a side hustle, like some freelance work, to boost your income. This will dramatically speed up your timeline. And third, and this is absolutely crucial, you have to automate your investing. Set up automatic transfers into a simple, low-cost S&P 500 ETF. By automating it, you take emotion and willpower completely out of the equation. These steps make the goal totally realistic and achievable, often within just 12 to 24 months. But here's the part that most people completely miss, and honestly, it might be the most important point of this whole thing. When you save $20,000, you've done something way more valuable than just stack up some cash. You've fundamentally rewired your own brain. You've proven to yourself that you can control your money instead of letting your money control you. You've literally built a new identity for yourself. And this new identity comes with a superpower. It's called walking away money. And suddenly, the entire dynamic at your job just changes. You're not trapped anymore. You could quit tomorrow and be okay for months while you find something better. This means you can negotiate from a position of strength, not desperation. You can ask for that raise you deserve because the worst they can do is say no. You become more confident, more assertive, and trust me, people notice that. It creates this amazing positive feedback loop that just accelerates your career and your wealth. And your whole perspective shifts. You stop sweating the small stuff like that $4 coffee because you realize it's the big decisions that truly move the needle. Instead, you're focusing your energy on analyzing that $30,000 car purchase or your rent. An unexpected car repair is no longer a financial disaster, it's just an annoying inconvenience. And you start seeing opportunities everywhere. A friend's startup, a potential real estate deal, things that were totally invisible to you before because you just didn't have the capacity to even think about them. Okay, now for a really critical warning, because this is the exact spot where so many people mess this up. They hit that $20,000 mark, they feel that amazing psychological shift, and then they immediately go and blow it on something silly. A new car, a fancy vacation. Please do not do this. That $20,000 is not a reward for your good behavior. It is the foundation for your entire financial future. It's the seed that will grow into real wealth, but only if you're patient enough to let it do its thing. I mean, let's just look at the stark reality of this choice. The second you drive a brand new car off the lot, it loses about 20% of its value. You are actively, literally destroying your wealth. Now, compare that to investing the same amount of money. Instead of watching it evaporate, you're watching it multiply. That $30,000 car isn't just a $30,000 car. It's the potential $200,000 it could have become over 20 years in your investment account. Seriously, think about that. That car purchase isn't a $30,000 decision. It's a six-figure decision that you're making without even realizing it. And this all brings us to a beautiful irony, doesn't it? The person in the flashy new car might look wealthy, but they are often the ones who are the most stressed out about money. Meanwhile, the person driving a reliable old Honda is quietly building real wealth behind the scenes and probably sleeping a lot better at night. It's all about choosing future freedom over the appearance of success today. Look, $20,000 isn't going to make you rich overnight. It's just not. But what it will do is fundamentally change how you think, how you act, and how you see the world. It is the difference between surviving and thriving, between reacting to life and actually designing your life. It's not the end goal. It's the beginning. It's your foundation. So the only question left to ask is, what are you going to build on it?